to Influential Sports, where passion meets precision. As I'm your host, Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. The King is back. LeBron has returned to the Lakers lineup, and in 30 minutes of action, put up 11 points, 12 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, just committed 1 turnover, went 4 of 7 from the field, and 2 of 3 from 3, 1 of 4 from the free throw line, and passed Reggie Miller for the sixth most threes made in NBA history. Come back, beat the Jazz 140 to 125. The Jazz have had it rough. Coby White made his return against the Jazz, and I think the Jazz ended up winning that game. It was a 150-147 double overtime game. The Jazz didn't end up winning, but that's when Coby White made his return versus the Jazz. Then LeBron made his return against the Jazz, and I'm pretty sure when Utah go back home, they got OKC on their schedule. So a rough few days, rough few games for the Jazz. But as far as the Lakers, and I'm going to talk about both teams, I'm going to do a recap of the whole game, and then I'll get to LeBron later in the video. But slow start for the Lakers. It was very minimal defensive effort from the entire team. It was like Luka was just, like Keontae George went off in the first half. Like he had a few open shots, especially in that first quarter. And for a guy that doesn't hit many threes, we just kept leaving them open. And he made us pay for that early on, as he had one of the best first halves of his career. He had 21 points on 8 of 12 from the field and 5 of 8 from 3 in the first half. Then he didn't do much in the second half. We were able to slow him down, but that was a hot start and a hot first half for Keontae George. And even in the first quarter, LA committed 5 turnovers. As I was surprised that we brought LeBron into the starting lineup when he came back, because he's came off the bench before when coming back from injury with the Lakers. So I thought that would have been the plan here. But I guess since the Jazz, nobody cares. So just inserted them into the starting lineup. It was really no issues with the playmaking for the Lakers, especially between LeBron and Luka. They had most of the assists for our team. But for the Jazz, like I said, Keontae George got off to a hot start. He ended up cooling down in the second half. And as he missed every three he took in the second half, he finished the game 5 of 13 from 3, 12 of 22 from the field. And at halftime, it should have been tied at halftime. Should have been 67-67, but Reeves decided to foul Lauri Markkanen on a 3, and there was a 4-point play to end the half. The Jazz was up 4 going into halftime. And also right before that, Reeves threw Luka a lob, which really confused me, and Luka ended up getting hurt. He was able to play through it. Luckily, it was nothing crazy. But I don't know why Luka shouldn't be going up for a lob. Austin Reeves shouldn't be throwing a lob to Luka. Like, that just doesn't make sense. But, okay. But, yeah, slow first quarter. Ended up picking it up in the second quarter. That's when LeBron finally scored his first basket, which was a 3 in that second quarter. And then the second half starts, and the second half was really just that third quarter specifically was the Lakers trying to get back into it and trying to take the lead. And once they did take the lead, they just took over from there. As they outscored the Jazz by 15 in the third quarter and had the lead. They were up 11 going into the fourth quarter as Gabe Vincent hit a buzzer beater 3 off an assist from LeBron. Then, like LA, they didn't have to do much in that fourth quarter. Then only scored 4 more points than the Jazz, but they ended up winning by 15 as they already had the 11-point lead going into the fourth. So the Lakers got the win, improved to 11-4 on the season. The Jazz fought to 5-9. This was a good win for the Lakers, just inserting LeBron right back into the starting lineup. Obviously, it's a weaker opponent in the Jazz. It's not too much I can say. Obviously, a win is a win. It's not like the Jazz are the best team. But for the Jazz, Lauri Markkanen continues to look great. It's been having an all-star year, having an all-NBA caliber year, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals in this game. A very solid game from Lauri Markkanen. And Keontae George, like I said, hot start. Finished with 33 points. Finished shooting 5 of 9 from 3 after going 5 of 8 in the first half. But he also had 4 rebounds, 7 assists, had 2 steals. It was a great game for Keontae George. He went off. Ace Bailey didn't impress me. I haven't watched the Jazz much this season, so I really wanted to see what Ace Bailey was able to do. And obviously, it's still early, so I'm not going to judge him yet. But I wasn't impressed with Ace Bailey's performance in this game as one of the top picks especially with the controversy around him and trying to choose his destination. He shot 6 of 12 from the field, which that's cool, 50%. That's efficient, but that's not like just looking at let's say he went 6 of 12 from the field. And 6 of those shots came from three, and he only made 1 3. He went 1 of 6 from the 3-point line, and he wasn't able to draw a foul all night. Like that's something that's a skill that not necessarily master, but you got to at least get to the free throw line a few times per game. He just wasn't able to do that in the game. He had a steal, he had an assist, he had a turnover, had 3 fouls. Like it wasn't, and the one rebound he had, it was a defense, it was an offensive rebound. He did this in just 23 minutes, so he's put up 13 points. Like I said, 50% from the field, that's cool. So he's, you know what your strengths are, but 1 of 6 from three. And then the Jazz went 13 of 45 from three in general as a team. But I just wasn't impressed with what I saw from Ace Bailey. And like I said, I got to watch the Jazz more because I haven't watched many of their games this season. But for what I've seen with Ace Bailey, definitely wasn't impressed with this game. I mean, he's still a rookie. He got time to improve. So next time I watch a Jazz game, I might make a short about what I see from Ace Bailey if I see any improvement. But yeah, Steve McCallum, he went 5 of 7 from the field, had a good game. The Jazz didn't get much bench production. Like you had Kevin Love, Bryce Sensabaugh, and them come off the bench. They didn't really provide much. Isaiah Collier had a solid game with 9 points and 6 assists. He did have 4 turnovers, so that wasn't not the best assist to turnover ratio, but it was a solid game for him off the bench. As you weren't getting much bench production from your other guys, and that's just Jazz. They're 5-9 on the season now. They're like 10th in the West. Because I don't think the Clippers playing tonight, so that wouldn't change. Or last night when y'all was seeing this, but yeah, the Jazz lost that third quarter, just got out of hand, but they were definitely in this game until that third quarter happened. And then for the Lakers, another 30-point game from Luka. Not gonna say it was his best game, because like I said, he didn't give much defensive effort in the first half at all, especially that first quarter. But offensively, he was great for the most part. He went 2 of 10 from three, but aside from that, he went 11 of 22 from the field and 13 of 16 from the line. Had 10 assists. He did have 8 turnovers though, which you don't need that. Had 4 steals. Like he gave more effort on the defensive side of the ball in the second half. And then him and LeBron, they contributed to most of the assists. As the Lakers as a team had 30 assists. Luka and LeBron combined had 22 of those assists. I think seeing the turnovers rise like that is kind of crazy. I don't even know how he had 8, even watching the game. But 8 turnovers, obviously got to limit that going into the next game. Got the win here. Austin Reeves had a 26-point game. DeAndre Ayton put up 20 as he's been one of the most efficient players in the league this season. As far as DeAndre Ayton goes, I have somewhat enjoyed the addition, somewhat not enjoyed it, because he's been super efficient. So I'm loving that about DeAndre Ayton. When it comes to his pick and rolls, he hasn't been great. I'm talking about on offense. Like there has been multiple times and I didn't see it much in this game, but in previous games, it's been pick and rolls, or it's supposed to be a pick and roll, and he just doesn't roll to the basket. He will stop, take a 15-foot jump shot or something like that. Like I said, I didn't see it much in this game. He went 10 of 13 from the field, had 20 points, so he had a very efficient game. Also had 14 rebounds, so it wasn't an issue here. That's just something that was noticeable in the earlier games of the season. Jake Arabia, 16 off the bench. Just great contributions all around. Will LeBron coming back, Jared Vanderbilt didn't play at all, so that was surprising. I think like it's still situations where we could use Jared Vanderbilt, like against the Jazz. I think it was like if we use him in this game, like I don't think Keontae George is gonna have, or Laurie, like they both had 30. Like obviously Laurie, he's been dropping 30 on everybody, but I think at least you bring Vanderbilt in for a little bit, he can slow down one of them. Like it wasn't like I know we gave 16 minutes to Gabe Vincent, Jackson Hayes. He had a few minutes. Jake Arabia, he had hella minutes, which that makes sense. He's our 6th man. So it made sense that Laravia was getting those minutes. But Vanderbilt, like when we play OKC again, like we gonna need Vanderbilt more than a Gabe Vincent probably just because of his defense. Like Gabe Vincent, he looked solid here. Like he went 2 or 3 from the field, came in and looked solid. But like I said, we gonna need him in some of these games. Like even if we can't use them in certain playoff games against certain playoff teams, I feel like it's gonna be certain situations where we have to use them, and I think this opens up a lot more for the Lakers because I don't adding LeBron back. I never saw this as negative. I don't know how people did unless they was just to hate on LeBron. But now we have we have a few more options now when it comes to our closing lineups and the lineups in general. Because there's going to be certain matchups where it'll make sense for Vanderbilt to either start or just to get 15 plus minutes coming off the bench. But I'm glad that we got LeBron back. Not the best start. The first quarter was terrible for LeBron. No defensive effort. I get that he's just coming back, but at the end of the day, we still got to win these games, and we can't have a start like that. Because if we start like that against playoff contending teams, if we start like that, or championship contending teams, like we start like that versus the Clippers or the Nuggets or the Rockets, we're not winning those games. Like the teams like that are going to be able to pick that apart with the veteran experience that they have. And I'm saying the Clippers assuming that Kawhi's healthy when we play them, because I don't know when we play the Clippers coming up soon. Or like the Timberwolves, who we just played earlier in the season and who we played in the playoffs last year. Like we can't have those slow starts against the top teams. Like against the Jazz, a team that's barely going to be scraping to make it in the play-in. Like we can do that, but like yeah, this is his 23rd season, but he got to show something, and he eventually showed effort later on defense in the game. But we just got to have that from the start throughout the entire game. It can, but over. But aside from that, I don't have any gripes with LeBron's performance. He did a great job playmaking. 12 assists, just 1 turnover, had 11 points. Wasn't expecting him to drop 30 in his return game. Only took 7 shots. So, I mean, he could have made a few more free throws. I will say that he could have. He shoots around 70-some% for 79% for his career. So we could have made 3 of those 4 free throws and been at 13 points. But I think overall, just for a return game, I think he played solid. He had a good game. Past Ricky Miller for, I'd say he had a solid game because the defensive effort, it wasn't there until the second quarter. So slow first quarter, eventually picked it up. Amazing playmaking game. So I'm happy with the win. We improved to 11-4. But shout out to the Jazz, though. Definitely gave us a fight. And Lauri Markkanen is going to be an all-star and potentially all-NBA player. I don't know if he's made all-NBA before. He might have the one season he was an all-star. But Lauri is having a phenomenal season. Shout out to Lauri Markkanen. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Comment what y'all thought of the game if you watched it. And share for others to see.